going to do today? We are going to work on what it means to average something. Who's ever like taking an average of something that they've done? Who knows what average means? We might see this in sports, like his batting average or his, shooting average, the average money you make.
Yeah, I was about to say
Okay, so what do you think it means? John, with knowing that, because that's what we're going to get to, with the average money you make. What does that mean?
You really don't have enough money.
Okay, and how would you know that? What do you think, Larry? If you average your money together, you guys are trying to plan that house, right? Okay, you guys are getting your big house.
I'm trying to remember what I was going to say because I was laughing
Okay,
for some reason.
so think about this. How can you decide if you know if you could afford a house? How do you know if you could afford a house? If I could buy a house, how do I know if I could afford it?
Give a job, pay a lot of money for
Or
a
if
house.
it's like, but you like, when you look for a house, you gotta look for one that's like in your price range.
My price range. And I know this by averaging, okay, averaging maybe my paychecks together. Say I make $100 a day, $100 every day, and I work 5 days, okay? So we got 100, 100, 100, 100, okay? That's my money for 5 days. How much is it total?
$500.
$500.
$500.
So that's my total. It's my total amount of money that I made in 5 days. Okay? How do I find that average? And average means what I would make each day. This is kind of an easy problem because I use the same amount of money each time. You divide. What do you divide by? You take your total, right here, which is the total, and you divide it by 5, because that's the amount that you have. Okay, and if I divided it by 5, it actually comes out to that I make $100 a day. And that was an easy one because I kept it the same each time. Okay? So people do this because if I said, okay, I'm going to buy a house, and my house payment is $150 a day. Okay? I only make $100 a day. Do I have enough?
No.
So that's why it's important to learn averaging. Okay? Now our next question. How does average relate to budgeting? And we did budgeting, weeks back. What's a budget?
It's like how much you want to spend.
How much you want to spend? How much money you want to save? How much money you want to spend? Can I get this? Can I get that? Okay? So how does learning average relate to your own budget? What do you think? Who likes to go shopping? I know all those hands up. I've been doing
You already know I be shopping.
Okay? So, you know that mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, whoever it was gave you 20 bucks. We're going to the mall. To Oglethorpe Mall Wednesday.
Man, I'd rather not go to the mall. I'd rather go somewhere that looks like Walmart.
We're going to Walmart for Larry.
Larry don't
Okay.
need no Walmart.
So you have $20. Let's pretend that Walmart's got this big food court too. Okay, you got 20 bucks. And you're going through and you got your basket and you're choosing this and you're choosing that. Okay? But then you realize, wait a second, I have $20. And I want to bring home change. And I want to get lunch. I have to budget my money. Right? Do we all understand that? Now, if we did a bigger picture, okay, in the sense of like a house or something like that, our budget, okay, reflects right to, let's say, our average amount of money that we make. Okay? When we budget, we take in our average. When I went to buy a house, I looked at, okay, what's my average bills per month? Okay? So I took all my bills, put them together, and said, oh man, I average this amount of money per month on bills. Okay, how much money do I, spend on groceries? I averaged it all together, and I said, okay, I have to spend this much on groceries. And then I was able to understand what my budget was, okay, and decided if I could afford something or not. Who thinks budgeting and knowing averages something is important? at our age right now, how do we think it's important? Okay, Kevin. Well, I'll get to everybody. What do you think?
You could save money quicker by just spending less.
Mm-hmm. And you knowing what you have each time, very good. John, what were you gonna say?
Like, just save your money up, and then like when you get enough to where you want to get whatever you want, you can spend whatever you plan to spend.
Perfect. And you don't even know what you.
Alright.
You didn't use the word. You didn't use the words, but what you just described was taking an average and knowing how to budget.
Yeah.
Very good. What were you gonna say, Trey? You were gonna say something too.
But if you like want stuff, it's like, you say like when you spend some money, you say the rest like if you want to have something for the next day or like for the rest of the week.
Absolutely. And what's that called? It's called
Budgeting.
It's called budgeting your
Good
money.
boy.